ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive.
It is Friday, March 28th. Your drive begins now on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Glad to be back with you on this Friday, getting you set for the weekend. Our text line this hour is going to be 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. There's a lot happening this weekend. Of course, we have got March Madness continuing. We've got baseball continuing as well. Yesterday was opening day. Disappointing start for Cincinnati Reds fans and Pittsburgh Pirates fans. Hey, I got to watch two back-to-back losses. I was watching the Reds yesterday, taking on the Giants. Started with the Reds, watched that game, and the Reds just fell apart. And I was listening to the Pirates, and the Pirates were sounding pretty good. I thought, okay, the Pirates might have this here. And then the Pirates go up against the Marlins, and they lose, so nobody's happy on opening day. The Guardians did get the win against the Royals in 10 innings. So, all right, Cleveland fans are happy. Nobody else is. Everything is back in action tonight. We, of course, have got March Madness for a few more days. That's coming up tonight. Big matchups starting at 7:39. And it's going to begin at 6 o'clock on our sister stations. Kentucky and Tennessee. Big matchup. Two schools that just don't like one another. Two programs that just don't like one another. Two states that just don't like one another. And that's happening tonight. We're going to have that. And again, that's over on our sister stations, Cat Sports 93.3 and 1340, and on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. We are going to have continuing coverage of the entire tournament. So all of that happens tonight. We've got Purdue, Houston, we've got Ole Miss, Michigan State, we've got Michigan and Auburn. We've got all of that best action. Keep it locked. We'll take you everywhere in the tournament. So if something is heating up, we'll switch over to that. That's all coming up tonight. And we go on the air. We'll start that at 7 o'clock, and you can listen to the tournament right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. So there's a lot going on for the Thundering Herd. Softball's in action, baseball's in action, tennis is in action, Marshall Track and Field in action. So we'll go over all of that. And, of course, we're going to hear from the head coach, Tony Gibson. Yesterday was a media availability for this week's spring report, so we'll hear what the coach had to say. And, of course, I want to hear from you as we're getting into the Friday part of the drive, and we're getting close to it's the weekend for everybody. So let's really finish on a strong note. Text line this hour is 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Biggest surprise of the weekend, biggest shock of the weekend. What are you looking forward to this weekend? Are you a long-suffering Reds fan, Pirates fan already with a loss on the early part of the season? But yesterday was opening day, though, right? I mean, it's truly not opening day for the Pirates. They just participated in opening day. The Pirates will have its opening day here in a few days. But for the Reds, of course, one of the biggest holidays of the year in Cincinnati and, of course, in the state of Ohio is when the Reds play, and the Guardians, of course, the only team in the Buckeye State to get the win. Heck, it was even tough for Ohio State fans because the Buckeyes lost its match in the Frozen Four NCAA hockey tournament going on right now, and the Buckeyes lose its match. So not a good day for the most part for fans of Central and, of course, Cincinnati area. Hopefully things will turn around for both the Reds and the Pirates. Pirates are taking on the Marlins tonight, 7:10. That game is hopefully going to be a nice turnaround for the Pirates. All right, I want to get into some stuff with Coach Gibson. I want to talk Marshall football. So we'll go over everything that's going on today as you get yourself ready for your drive home. We'll update you on all the things you need to know for those of you that are getting in the car right now. If you're heading over to Dot Hicks Field, you got till 6 o'clock. The Herd taking on Texas State. This is going to be a big match. Big series because the winner of this series, more than likely, is going to be the top team in the Sun Belt. This is 1 and 2 right now going at it. And if there's a split, that might give another team just a brief opening to catch up. But this is really for the top spot. You win this series, you're going to be the top team in the Sun Belt. Big series for softball this weekend, and baseball is in action as well at Troy. Herd needs to start stacking some wins together. This would be a good way to do it. You want to be competitive in conference. You need to stack some wins together. You've shown that you can be at times competitive. This would be it. This would be a good series to kind of make a statement that Marshall's not going anywhere. Marshall is here to compete in Sun Belt play against number 17 Troy. So we've got all of that to talk about with your text coming up as well on this edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
At Poca Valley Bank, a handshake can still mean the start of a great relationship. We've been greeting customers with a handshake since 1908. Why settle for less? If you're purchasing your first home or planning for your future, Poca Valley Bank is here to support you with personalized service and local expertise. They are your trusted advisors. Why settle for less when you can experience banking with a team that truly cares? Poca Valley Bank, where relationships matter. Visit PocaValleyBank.com. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hey Tri-State, Frank's Place is where friends hang out with friends. Stop on by for happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. and a lot of daily specials. It's that time of year for March basketball. Frank's has you covered from the Sun Belt to the SEC, NBA to the MLB. First responders, stop by Frank's Place and check out the specials they have for you. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check them out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
Stalwart Insurance is the name for insurance in the Tri-State. They are committed to delivering tailored benefit solutions with thoughtful, strategic planning with valuable professional services. Stop by or call Stalwart Insurance for your homeowner's insurance needs. Stalwart Insurance is located right beside Kenny Queen Hardware on Route 10 in Barbersville. Call Stalwart Insurance anytime at 304-552-3883. That's 304-552-3883. Or visit them online at stalwartinsurance.com.
Hi, I'm Nori, and over the years, my mother and I have opened our homes to those who need it most, and it's been so rewarding. I bet you didn't know that some adults who have unfortunately been mistreated need a place to call home in West Virginia. It happens more than you know. They may have some physical or mental limitations, and they need your help. Everyone deserves a place to call their own. I can tell you from my experience, it's worth it.
If you have an open heart and want to open your home, Adult Family Care may be the right fit for you. Call the Department of Human Services and ask to speak to an Adult Family Care home finder at 304-269-6820. Sponsored by the West Virginia Department of Human Services, the West Virginia Broadcasters Association, and this station. This project is supported by the Administration for Community Living, ACL, of the United States, U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, as part of a financial assistance award totaling $1,227,345, with 100% funded by ACL HHS. The contents are those of the authors and do not necessarily represent the official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL HHS or the U.S. government.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, millions of men experience ED, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. At HIMSS, our own board-certified urologist, Dr. Peter Stahl, knows this better than anyone, and he knows that HIMSS can help.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, Senior Vice President of Men's Sexual Health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS.
Through HIMSS.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs. Options at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at hims.com/joy. To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% less than brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
Charlie died after taking a single pill that turned out to be counterfeit.
He was having back issues, and it was a counterfeit poisonous pill.
Websites and social media selling fake medicines may look legitimate, but they're not. Drugs from these rogue pharmacies could have fillers like sawdust or deadly fentanyl.
He died in less than 15 minutes after taking the pill.
Now there's a free tool that can give you peace of mind. At safe.pharmacy, enter the pharmacy web address, and you'll know if the site you're using is safe.
If you're not getting your prescriptions from a legitimate source, that next dose you take could be your last.
We just don't want other people to go through what we're going through. It's just horrific.
Go to safe.pharmacy. Find out about fake medicine on social media and if the site you're buying from is safe.
This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Follow at Paul Swann on X for Marshall sports updates and more.
Our text line this hour brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop is 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We're getting closer to the spring game. I know everyone's excited about that. Get a chance to see what the Thundering Herd looks like, at least this version of the Thundering Herd. I'm still on the fence about spring games. I'll go, I'll watch it, and I'll be happy to see everyone. That's not the issue. The issue for me is with the spring game and the transfer portal, you're going to have guys that are on the team, and you're going to be excited to see them, and you're going to root for them, and then some of those guys might be on the team come fall. Some of those guys might look for a new team. With the way the transfer portal has kind of changed the landscape, I don't get excited as much about spring games as I used to. Now, you could have a different point of view on that. It's just a great opportunity to get out, do some tailgating, see your friends, catch up with some folks, go out, have a good time. Hopefully we get a beautiful day. It'll be fun. We've got baseball that day as well. So there's a lot going on, not just the spring game. But as far as just the overall excitement, it's there, but is it really for the spring game? Is it more you're excited for the event of the spring game than the actual seeing what the team looks like, rooting for players that might not be there? And the way that practice, for the most part now, you get glimpses of what's going on. You get info that's sort of trickled out there, and there's a reason for all of that. You can't just go out and hang out at practice anymore. That's not how college athletics work, at least in this day and age, because everybody's working on something. You don't want to have things out there. It's more of a, we don't want to have an idea of what we really look like, what we're working on. You know, we want to control that information, but at what cost has that done to your connection with the fans? And I think the transfer portal's got something to do with that. But here we are, another opportunity to hear from the new head coach, Tony Gibson. And you had spring break, so you had an opportunity to kind of recharge, rest, get a few days to get away from it, and then get right back at it. And Coach was asked just how the spring break really treated him and the team.
It was good. I thought we had a really good day on Tuesday, first day back, so I was I was happy with that practice. Today's practice, I think they're getting geared up. Tomorrow is the first scrimmage of spring, so hopefully they were saving themselves a little bit, but it was a little sluggish today. So definitely, tomorrow's got to be better. We have to start again stacking days and making sure that we're heading in the right direction.
Y'all think that Coach is pessimistic or optimistic by nature? What do you think his disposition's going to be? Everything could be going great, and he's going to be a little pessimistic, or he's going to undersell. We're okay. Or is it going to be gumdrops and rainbows eventually? Oh, yeah, we're great. Yeah, everybody's great. So I'm detecting that he's type of coach he's going to be happy quietly about things, but he's not necessarily going to outwardly say, look, oh, yeah, we're really killing it in spring. We're killing it. We're having the best practices. Everybody is happy. We are just working so well together. I mean, he's just laying it out there for you. There's some things that he would like to see improved from this team. And he alluded to Tuesday when the team got back. How did that early part of the week really look for Coach?
Yeah, a lot of good energy. Both sides were making plays. We did a little red zone drill, and then coming out drill. So I thought, both sides were making plays with that. So that's good to see as a head coach. But, again, still got a lot of work to do to get this thing where we want it.
I'll give him credit. He's not selling me malarkey. He's not, oh, yeah, they're going to be great, Paul. We have guys that are just phenomenal. We're closing the gap every day. It's just going to be so great. These guys you can't believe them. You won't believe it. It's just going to be so good. No, he's flat out like, look, hey, I'm getting good work here, but I need more. I absolutely need more from these guys. And so Coach was asked about what the area of focus, at least based on this week, is for his team.
Yeah, offensively, we got to have an identity, and we got to have guys step up. And I know we got a lot of new guys, but we're 7 practices in right now, so it's got to start getting better. Right now, the defense is ahead of where the offense is, and I understand that. But there's no excuse for not playing hard and not executing and finishing drives and finishing plays and all those things that we want them to do.
And to me, that's actually refreshing. It's like, look, we're not performing. We're not where I want us to be. We're not performing well on offense. Not making excuses. He's not sugarcoating it. Now, he's not trashing the team. He's not telling us how terrible. He's not making excuses. He's just laying it out there flat for everyone to see. Hey, here it is. This is what it looks like. This is what it is. We got to find an identity on offense. Defense looking better. Defense is usually going to be ahead of the offense, at least these few days, these spring training days. But I need to see more from the offense. Not questioning, we got to get – no, none of that stuff. So I feel good about where this team is going, only because I feel good about the coach in charge flat out telling him, I know I got things I need to see. I'm not happy with this offense. It needs to show me something. I need to find the identity of this offense. Those players need to find the identity of what this offense is going to be. And he alluded to, you got new players. Every year you're going to have new players. You're going to have the transfer portal, same story. It's going to be a different question every year worded. It's the same question, different question. We're going to try to make it sound like we're asking something smart and different. But you have so many of these new pieces. What's the challenge here? Just having some of these new pieces for your first year.
Yeah, I wish we had 30 days of spring practice, but unfortunately we're only allowed 15. So, we got 8 left. And what I challenge the offense after practice is let's get better tomorrow and again, keep stacking days where we can have something to build on and get some continuity on that side of the football.
Everybody's going to have new players. Every program's going to have new players. So players have got to step up. This is college ball now. If you're a new player and you've been through college football a couple of seasons, you know the deal. If you're a new player to college football, welcome to the bigs, and you're going to have to step up. But the good news here is now, instead of drills and reps and play situations, you're going to have some live fire, an actual live fire event as game-like as possible. And Coach, I'm sure, is excited for that because you now get to see what it looks like when you put it together and you actually run it in a game-like situation.
Yeah, it would be great. We'll have a full Sun Belt crew here tomorrow and get after it, put the ball down, try to get around 100, 120 plays in. And we'll have a lot to go off of after that. So just all the coaches off the field and let those guys, see what they can do and finish drives and all those things. So we're going to get as close as a game-like as we can.
And that's the important part about spring. You're going to get these guys to feel like they're at a game situation. And that's not to take away anything from what Coach Huff did. Each coach has got a different style, and Coach Gibson wants to make sure that this is game-like. He wants to take advantage of all the practices he gets. He doesn't get 30, he gets 15. And so you got to make them count, and you got to have a little live fire. And that's why I like the fact that the spring game, at least that first half, it's going to be a game-like scrimmage. Not situational drills, not, okay, we got to put something on, we got to put a show on, we're going to run some drills, we're going to run some set plays, practice. No, it's a game. The spring game Or for those of you a little older, the green-white game, which I hope we don't get into those controversies. And the good news here is it'll give you a little bit more film. You can't go look at last year's film and go, okay, here's what you need to work on. Because a lot of those guys aren't here now. That's where we are at this transfer portal. Can't look at the film from last year, even though it was last year's coach and last year's staff. You can't really pull up anything and go, okay, this is where we were at last year. For you new guys, this is what we're looking at. And instead, it's okay, throw that stuff in the closet, file it away. It doesn't mean anything here. So now we get to see truly some film. If you're the coaching staff, we get to see some film. Get to sit down like, okay, this is what we did. This is how you executed. We wanted you to do this. You did this. I wanted you to go here. You went there. You have that opportunity now. And finally, with the limited practices you get and the opportunities to go out there and try to make this team better, just how valuable is that going to be for that film study?
They're willing. They want to learn. And obviously we got 2 new schemes going in, so it's a lot for them, and we're throwing a lot at them right now. But, again, no excuse for some guys get it and some don't. And it goes back as simple as getting a signal and knowing what you're doing on every play. I don't think that's too much to ask. So we got to just get a lot of stuff cleaned up and get the sloppy play off film.
No excuse. You hear that? I'll run it back again if you didn't. No excuse. Not throwing the players under the bus, but he's saying, look, there's no excuse. You got to do this. You can't have sloppy play. You can't. I mean, he's not blaming the players. He's just saying, look, you got to go out there and you got to do your job. You got to go and do this. I don't think he's going to make excuses. When Marshall loses a game, he's not going to make excuses. I don't think he's going to throw the players under the bus. I don't think he's going to go, oh, yeah, if they just would have done what I told them to do. But I think at the same time, he's going to hold himself accountable, and I think he's going to hold these players accountable for what they do on the field. And I think that Coach Gibson's style of coaching is really going to resonate with a lot of people. And the challenge is, will it resonate with enough? So that's where we're at right now. Way too early evaluation again. What do you think of how Coach Gibson has been running the team so far? What's your early impression? How do you feel? Are you waiting till the spring game to sort of make that first judgment? 304-396-TALK is our text line, 304-396-8255. That's our text line, brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop. So as of right now, how do you feel about where Marshall football is heading? How do you feel about the head coach in charge? We'll get your text when we continue. More coming up on this edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Metro Community Federal Credit Union now brings you all the tech that big banks have, but still has that personal touch of a member-owned community credit union. Apple Pay? Got it. Digital wallet? Yep. Message pay by text, online loan payments, even chatting with a real person, not a bot. Open accounts, sign documents, and manage your money all online. It's the big bank tech you need from the local community-minded credit union you trust. Metro Community FCU. Visit metrocommunityfcu.com today.
Save big on everything for your next project when you shop at Menards. Mastercraft has been making high-quality doors for more than 50 years. Choose from Menards' great in-stock selection or design your door your way in store and online using our free, easy-to-use design program. Visit menards.com/doors and start your design today. Plus, check out the weekly flyer for more great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
Stalwart Insurance is the name for insurance in the tri-state. They are committed to delivering tailored benefit solutions with thoughtful, strategic planning with valuable professional services. Stop by or call Stalwart Insurance for your homeowner's insurance needs. Stalwart Insurance is located right beside Kitty Queen Hardware on Route 10 in Barbersville. Call Stalwart Insurance anytime at 304-552-3883. That's 304-552-3883. Or visit them online at stalwartinsurance.com.
Here's another Kendrick Communications Community Chatter. The Third and Center organization in Ironton says save the date for the Summer Solstice Music and Arts Festival, June 21st at the Riverfront Park in Ironton. Interested artists, artisans, makers, and food vendors should apply for participation at thirdandcenter.com/events.
This Kendrick Communications Community Chatter brought to you by Elite Welding. Become a certified welder in just 6 months. Day and evening classes in South Point, Ohio. Apply now at EliteWeldingAcademy.com.
Tri-State Coldcats baseball. More fun, more special nights, more action. It's all yours with season tickets to the Tri-State's only minor league baseball team. Season ticket plans start as low as $175. Buy now and receive a collector's Coldcat t-shirt. Tri-State Coldcat baseball. This year with fireworks July 4th weekend. Visits from World Series major leaguers. Even a guest appearance from WWE Hall of Famer. Ensure your seats all season long. Visit Coldcats.net to purchase your season tickets for summer fun and Coldcat baseball.
Okay, forest animals, today is a new day. Kids are coming to the forest, and it's up to us to make their visit a good one. Sparrow.
Yes?
Have you practiced the most popular bird songs for the year?
Of course.
Catchy. I like it. Okay, River.
Dude.
How's the temperature?
It's a refreshing 52 degrees, man. Perfect for a little riverside shoeless relaxation.
Ah, good. Owl, you here? Of course. Who's asking? I am. Look, you know the drill. Sleep during the day, scare the kids at night. Perfect. I love my job. Oak Tree?
Sup?
Still in the same place I left you last year. That's what I like. Consistency.
Well, it's not like I'm going anywhere for the next couple hundred years.
I know. I love it. Turtle. Turtle.
He's not here yet, man.
He's late every morning. You'd think you would have learned by now to leave the night before our meetings. Okay. Squirrel. Has anybody seen Mr. Squirrel?
The forest has been preparing just for you. Visit a forest near you today. To learn more about cool things to do in the forest, visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kristen Bell, and I invited you here to my hotel room to talk about your cheeks. Your big, beautiful cheeks. Get your mind out of the gutter. I'm talking about swabbing them. Did you guys know that each year 20,000 Americans with blood cancer are searching for their life-saving marrow match? Can you even believe that? I mean, people need marrow, you guys, and we have it. So here's how we can help. It's really, really simple. All you have to do is swab your cheek, this cheek. Then go to Gift of Life Marrow Registry. It's so easy, anyone can do it. And in case you're wondering, if you're a match, donating, it's a lot easier than you think. So wherever you are, go ahead and swab that cheek. Go to giftoflife.org and get a free kit sent to your home, or find a donor drive in your area so that you can swab a cheek and save a life. It's only a minute of your time, but it can give someone else the rest of their life.
This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Miss an episode? Catch it anytime on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Our text line is open, brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop at 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We've been talking about Marshall Spring Ball. That's coming up, the spring game. We're closer than you think. Of course, practice continues at Jones C. Airport Stadium. We heard comments from Coach Gibson about where this team is right now. Got to find an identity in offense is something that he said if you were with us a few minutes ago. And that's where we begin with the text line. From the text line, texter says, Paul, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Coach Gibson, not impressive as a defensive coordinator, and it's going to be a tough next couple of years. He doesn't have the offensive background to really get it going. Also from the text line, 304-396-TALK, texter says, it's too early to grade Coach Gibson, but I like his no-nonsense attitude. All right, you can jump in as well. And again, we'll get those here at 304-396-TALK. Our text line, always brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop. Now, it's going to be a busy weekend for the Thundering Herd. Softball in action. We got a big one coming up starting at 6 o'clock. You've got Marshall at 19-13 right now, but 5-1 in league play. Number one team. And you got second place Texas State. 20-8, 4-2 in league play, and that's going to start at 6 o'clock over at Dot Hicks Field. Saturday is going to be a doubleheader. the Sunday finale moved up a day due to weather. So you've got a doubleheader on Saturday, and you've got action tonight at Dot Hicks Field. Ryan Crisp, the athletic director for fan engagement, would chastise me if I didn't mention the fact that it's Decades weekend. It's 80s night at the ballpark tonight. So I'm hoping that there's a lot of 80s music rocking on the soundtrack. 90s and 2000s on Saturday, but no, 80s night's where it's at. So the Thundering Herd has gotten things really rolling. And we know Marshall had a challenging schedule early, but Marshall is at a spot right now where I think that's going to pay off dividends. If Marshall can continue to win series, Marshall could find itself the number 1 seed. Marshall could find itself the regular season champion. We would like to see that. Softball's been one of those programs over the years where it's always been consistent, a winner, challenging for championships, and this would be a nice addition to the trophy case, which always rotates. They always like to change those trophies out. Wouldn't it be nice if baseball could start rocking some trophies up as well? But softball's got a good shot at this right now. So all of that's happening. And, of course, Marshall isn't just living off of its breaking of Louisiana's 89 series streak in league play. Louisiana had an 89 series streak go on, and Marshall's the only team right now with 5 wins or more in league play. Riley Lucas, Sun Belt Conference Player of the Week. She was cool to talk to. Check that out on our podcast. Chandler Hoskins, 7th-ranked mid-major freshman by Softball America. The Herd ranked number 17 in the D1 softball mid-major poll. This is a big weekend. Marshall can't sneak up on anyone anymore. People are taking notice, and Texas State's good. So if Marshall can split this series or sweep it, that would even be better. 8-1 in league play, that would be fantastic for this Thundering Herd team. So that's happening over at the Dot. Busy weekend for the Thundering Herd. And then we got Marshall baseball. Now, the men are on the road. They could use some wins right now. All is not lost. Marshall's taking on 17th-ranked Troy. Marshall's 12-13. Lost that game against WVU, where the bullpen actually performed well, so give the bullpen some credit. But the baseball team right now, 12-13, that's improvement. Give that number at least some credit. 12-13 is improvement. 2-4 in Sun Belt play. And you're going up against Troy, a Troy team that is 19-7 and 4-2 in league play. So this one's taking place tonight, 7 o'clock in Troy, Alabama. So the Herds got Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Troy did split a pair of midweek games. Fell to Wofford at home on Tuesday, and then won against Florida A&M on Wednesday. And that was on the road. Troy's pretty good. Leads the Sun Belt with a .306 batting average, a .432 on-base percentage. It's a good team. So the Thundering Herd in action baseball-wise. Let's hope the Herd can get some wins, start stacking some wins, and make this a little bit more of a competitive race for the Sun Belt tournament. I don't know if Marshall wins the conference this season. We're only in year 2 of having the baseball park. But I think you can see already some of the dividends that the ballpark's paying. Is that fair to say? Is that fair to say that you see the progress, or is it, why isn't the progress happening fast enough for you? Our text line brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Texter just said, Paul, I want to see wins. It's time. You've got the baseball park and the transfer portal age. You should be able to put together a team quickly. All right, appreciate that text. Isn't it different, though? And that's the thing here. You got facilities now. How does Marshall win in the future? Is it with facilities? Is it with NIL? Do you have to have more of one than the other? And if you do, does it lean towards NIL a little bit more? Do you have to? Does it matter? I mean, you had to have facilities for baseball. So now everybody's got facilities. Marshall's got a baseball facility. everyone's got baseball facilities. Okay. It's not necessarily the location now, right? Does that play into it? Hey, Huntington's great. Campus is beautiful. Fans are fantastic. We've got this modern, state-of-the-art facility here. It's going to be fantastic. No longer are you playing baseball at the YMCA. Before, you couldn't even show the facilities off. But has the recruiting game changed enough where baseball park isn't enough now? What are you doing for me? Name, image, and likeness. And how much of that's going to be put into baseball compared to football? What's going to be the focus when you're trying to put together a name, image, and likeness for your athletic department? How are you focusing that money? Are you putting it in relatively equal parts depending on percentage of, okay, football gives us this, so we got to put this in it. Basketball gives us this, well, we got to put this in it. Is football going to have the lion's share? And probably. What's the lion's share going to be? And can programs like Marshall realistically compete on a larger stage for players in the future? And I'm talking all sports now. Yeah, softball, is there going to be a time where, okay, it's not going to be enough? You got a great coach, you got great fan base, it's home for a lot of players. Okay, when are we going to get to the point where if you're not winning the NIL game, it doesn't matter how great your facilities are. It doesn't matter how great your fans are. If you're not winning the NIL game, you're not winning at all. When do we get to that point? Or are we already there and we just haven't seen the results trickle down yet? 304-396-TALK is our text line, brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop. Final segment coming up, today's edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Now is the time to add on a new bathroom or remodel your old one with the latest up-to-date bathroom fixtures from Mutual Wholesalers, 710 5th Street, Huntington. Come in today to Mutual Wholesalers' beautiful showroom and see how your new bathroom will look. Check out Acre by Max. Have a new bathroom this year. Mutual Wholesalers, locally owned and operated. 710 5th Street, Huntington. Call 304-525-9118.
Stuck in a state of falling behind, struggling to keep up with kids, finances, insurance, and life? Well, let your State Farm agent help you simplify and get to a better state. With State Farm handling your auto, home, and life insurance, you'll have more time to handle everything else. More money, too. Adding State Farm policies can earn discounts that could add up to 40%. Help you get ahead. Call an agent today and get to a better state with State Farm. In Huntington, Ray Crabtree, 304-736-8181. In Milton, Russ McRae, 304-743-9318. And in Lavalette, Jason Elkins, 304-529-7555.
Hey, Tri-State, Frank's Place is where friends hang out with friends. Stop on by for happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. and a lot of daily specials. It's that time of year for March basketball. Frank's has you covered from the Sun Belt to the SEC, NBA to the MLB. First responders, stop by Frank's Place and check out the specials they have for you. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check them out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
I'm Nori, and when I was young, my mom opened our home to someone who needed a secure and safe place. She taught him what it was like to have someone care about you, having dinner at home or going out to eat together.
In West Virginia, families open their homes every year to adult family care.
Some folks need a little extra help, but everybody deserves a family.
Call the Department of Human Services and ask to speak to an adult family care home finder at 304-269-6820. Sponsored by the West Virginia Department of Human Services, the West Virginia Broadcasters Association, and this station. This project is supported by the Administration for Community Living, ACL, of the United States U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, as part of a financial assistance award totaling $1,227,345, with 100% funded by ACL HHS. The contents are those of the authors and do not necessarily represent the official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL HHS or the U.S. government.
Attention! Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-885-5555. 800-885-5555. Again, that's 800-885-5555.
Thoroughbred Express Wash wants to get you ready for the race of a lifetime. You could win the ultimate Kentucky Derby 2025 experience, including 2 tickets with exclusive starting gate seating, 3-night hotel accommodations, and more. To enter, follow Thoroughbred Express Wash on Facebook. Like and share the Run for the Roses giveaway post, and comment who'd you take with you. Good luck and good Derby from Thoroughbred Express Wash.
No purchase necessary. Contest runs March 17th or April 17th. Winners announced by April 23rd. Must follow all instructions to qualify.
Hi, Mom. Is Claire's birthday party today? Me again, Mom. Where did I put my history book? Hi. Sorry, forgot one last thing. Sometimes it's hard to concentrate. At school, I start looking out the window, and then I forget what I was supposed to be thinking about. I know it seems like I don't care, but I do. It's just difficult for me. Love you, Mom. Bye.
Join parents and experts at Understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive. Brought to you by Understood.org and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Dave Wilson, host of Metro News Talk Line, and you're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Thank you, Dave. Don't forget, start your morning off right. 10:06 right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Dave Wilson will get you started throughout the day, and then, of course, we'll take you all the way home right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930 with The Drive. Our text line this hour, it's brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We go back to the text line. Texter says, Paul, I hope I'm wrong, but I think Herd football will be rough the next 2-3 years as Coach Gibson builds the team. That's a fair assessment. I appreciate the text. It's a fair assessment because you don't know if Coach Gibson can continue instantly the success that took 2 or 3 years, depending on really your take of what it took for Marshall football to win a conference championship. That's the expectation. Win a conference championship. Hopefully the expectation is if you don't win the championship, it's a bad year. It's not a fair assessment, but that's the standard. Coach Pruitt set that standard. We play for championships. You remember when he said that? That has stuck ever since. And if you look at where the Thundering Herd has been over the last, 20? Let's just go with the 90s. Starting 90s on. You look at that. Donnan, championship. Pruitt, championship. Snyder, no championship. Doc, championship. Huff, championship. The standard is what it is. You have to win a championship to be a successful coach for Marshall University. That's maybe not a fair assessment. There are a lot of successful coaches that maybe don't have the resume of a championship, but they're still good coaches. But that's what it is, especially at Marshall University. If you don't win a championship, and in this day and age, I use that as a cliche. In this day and age, with the transfer portal being what it is, the expectation is, okay, you can go out and you can get your team. You can go out and you can turn this around in 1 year. You have to be better at the transfer portal than everyone else, but you can go out and get your team, and then you can put a championship contender on the court or the field or whatever the sport may be. So you have to be able to do that. And it goes right back to where we're at. Facilities used to be, Doc Holliday would say, look, the players come in, they buy with their eyes, because Marshall needed an indoor facility. Now, everybody's got them, just about. I mean, with Marshall baseball, Marshall needed a baseball park. End of story. Nothing else needed to happen before then. Baseball park. Coach Grassie's been able to attract players with the prestige of Marshall soccer, able to attract players with what he's able to do for them. The facilities help. The fan base helps. But he's going after a different guy. He's bringing in a different type of student athlete. I mean, it's also what Marshall can give you. And for a lot of players, that's what's going to be the ultimate deciding factor. It's like, hey, look, I love Marshall. Marshall's a great place. You think Obina Anachili-Killen really was looking for cash? How many of those guys are going to see the next few years? They're going to be few and far between. How many of those guys are going to show up at Marshall University, love Marshall, okay, I'm in. We don't have much NIL money. I don't care. We're in. I'm in. Let's go. Go Herd. And so that's the kind of player that you're going to have to attract. And I know it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be very difficult. But at the end of the day, I think it can be done. But you still are going to have to try to be competitive. And there's going to have to be some legislation here. You can't just start throwing cash at this. Hey, I'll give you $25 million. Speaking of throwing cash, I don't know if this is going to be a detriment or a boon for, well, it's going to be a boon for coaches. Do you see the new contract that Colorado approved for Deion Sanders? 5 years, $54 million. He's going to make $10 million in 2025. He's going to make $10 million in 2026. It goes up to $11 million in 2027. He's going to make $11 million in 2028, and then he's going to make $12 million in 2029. Boy, what's the buyout on that? I'm sure there's a hefty price tag there. At the same time, he's a high-profile coach. He brings the eyeballs. We're talking about Colorado football. Is Colorado closer to winning a championship? Maybe. But now you've got this high-profile contract out there. I don't know if the pressure's on and he likes it, but $54 million? He's making more as a coach than Marshall has as an athletic budget. That's the challenge there. There is going to be so many gaps that Marshall can't close. Could Marshall ever compete for a coach at that price range? No. The athletic department doesn't have that kind of money to throw at a coach. Does the university have that kind of money? Would Marshall pony up that kind of cash? Probably not. I'll give the university credit. It's building the university up in ways I think will pay dividends in the future. Increase the alumni base. That will increase the potential donor base. That will hopefully increase the economic fortunes of the area with the new curriculum, the new building that's going on, the new fields of study. All that's going to benefit and trickle down to the athletic department, and that's where Marshall's focus is. But does Marshall pony up $54 million, $55 million, and go, okay, hey, we need a coach. We need a $54 million coach. That's probably not going to happen, at least in my lifetime. I would like to see Marshall get to a point where it has an athletic budget of $54 million. And I don't know where that money's going to come from, of course, because Marshall being in the Sun Belt, not going to have that TV money. And that's really going to supplement a lot of this. The television money is where a lot of this revenue is coming from. And, of course, you got to find new revenue streams as well for name, image, and likeness. That's why we've got a concert coming up here in a few months at Jones C. Edwards Stadium. We're opening the doors for a stadium concert. And have you seen the ticket prices on this thing? I don't know who set the ticket prices, and I hope Marshall gets a good chunk of this. But I've seen some folks complaining about what the ticket prices are, and I don't know what the value of a Zach Bryan ticket is. I will honestly tell you, I know we play him on our sister station. I'm not a country music fan. I don't hate country music. I'm just not listening to country music. But I don't know what a Zach Bryan ticket should be, what it will cost, why it does. And, of course, I've seen some folks complaining about service fees as well. And, of course, that's going to happen everywhere. That's not a Marshall thing, not necessarily in Marshall's control. Not like Marshall sitting there going, okay, and tack on a service fee. Let's gouge him some more. But what does a Zach Bryan concert cost? What's the value? What's the worth to someone to buy a ticket? And let's be honest, there have been a lot of tickets already sold to this thing. There have been people who have bought them in bunches. So I think the market can bear it. Are you going to this thing? Have you decided yet? I'm sure we'll talk more about it. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We are out of time. Let's see. Vivid Seats has tickets starting at... There's some deals available, but tickets will begin. The stage is going to be on the shoey side, looks like. $129. That's with floor tickets. Floor tickets are $264. Corner seats are looking at like $490 right now. This is on Vivid Seats, though. I'm not going through the actual ticket people. That's going to do it for this edition. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be back with you on Monday.
Broadcasting from the Dave & Buster's studios. Eat, drink, play, and watch at Dave & Buster's in the Huntington Mall. ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. WRBC, W231BS Huntington.